Good morning, Tom Lowe here with Puget Sound's finest, here in front of Stadium High School here in Tacoma, a super famous kind of high school and architectural wonder of the city, built out here in what used to be called Blackwell Point. The building was commissioned in 1891 by the Northern Pacific Railroad, and it was going to be a luxury hotel. So if you can imagine, if you know where this is out here in the city, it's sort of at the northern end of Commencement Bay, and the views of the bay and everything out here would have been pretty fantastic as a luxury hotel. But after 2 years of construction, we went into a depression. And in 1893, the Northern Pacific Railroad found itself in all kinds of financial constraints and needed to stop construction completely. And then the building sat for about 5 years empty, and then it was gutted by a huge fire and more or less burned it to the ground. And nothing left but the foundation and the walls. And then the railroad, using its resources, decided to take most of the rocks, a lot of the bricks, and move them to other railroad stations. So a lot of the bricks that were originally here as a luxury hotel actually were used in Missoula, Montana at their train station, and in Wallace, Idaho. Pretty resourceful if you're a railroad baron or a railroad company and you've got all these rocks sort of sitting around or bricks sitting around, no one's using them. Then in 1904, the Tacoma School Board ended up buying this property in the hopes of turning it into a high school. About 2 years later, they opened it up. It wasn't called Stadium High School back then. It was actually called Tacoma High School. And then in 1913, the name was changed to Stadium High School. Part of the construction project was also to include a large stadium. Now, the stadium was built in a place called Old Woman Gulch, and you can probably imagine why it was called Old Woman Gulch. Probably a story about an old woman would be my guess. Again, part of the Old West history, right? And the pioneer spirit out here. They dug it out with sluice and all kinds of other dredges, built this beautiful 32,000 seat stadium, and it used to be much grander than it is today. While it was so huge, Woodrow Wilson, Theodore Roosevelt, Warren G. Harding, William Jennings Bryan, a bunch of really famous people came to speak here at this stadium. In the 1970s, it really started to crumble because it wasn't built properly or not supported properly. And so we ended up losing a lot of the seating there. So it's a much smaller stadium today. In 1977, they did more updating here to the whole campus and added an underground swimming pool, a pretty amazing complex here with all kinds of great stuff, gymnasiums, and a pretty great plaza, feeling pretty modern now compared to where it was in 1891. In 1981, there was a storm drain that burst and washed away the scoreboard and basically the whole end zone out there. In 2005-2006, the school underwent a major renovation with seismic upgrades and historical restoration and expansions. And then in September 16th, 2006, the centennial celebration of Stadium High School drew over 3,299 people and alumni, setting the Guinness World Record for the largest recorded school reunion. Pretty cool. One other kind of fun note about Stadium High School is it was used as the interior locations for the high school in 10 Things I Hate About You, the Heath Ledger film.
What are you doing here?
I heard there was a poetry reading.
You're so...
Charming.
So there you have it, Stadium High School here in North Tacoma, sitting on Commencement Bay with beautiful views. Used to be a luxury hotel, and now it's educating our children, or the home where people are getting educated. Anyway, if you're interested in more of my architectural walkthroughs, you can check out the link up there to the Spanish Steps or to the clock tower here in town, the old City Hall. Anyway, Tom Lowe here, Puget Sound's finest. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.